What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So this is the next day from doing the big three. Ended up working out some kinks yesterday. I had electrical problem with my headlights on the passenger side. They wouldn't light up. Didn't know what was wrong, and it's because whenever I put the rust-free fenders on, I forgot to ground them. So ended up grounding them, and my LEDs that I had in it pretty much, I think, like shorted out or something. I don't know. They were just cheap ones, so bought a little bit better ones, and they're way brighter, work way better, and everything works now. So that's good because you need blinkers to drive. This is the 250 amp alternator from Mechman. Super excited about this. I literally ordered this like I think Monday or Tuesday, and it's already here Thursday. So shout out to them guys over there, giving me a good discount and getting this over here fast, because I need to be able to, this thing needs to be pretty much roadworthy by Sunday. Let's see how we can finagle this thing out of here. Look at harness. We got some decals, some Mechman decals. I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer. Once again, great packaging. Looks like the harness is taped in there if I need it. I guess it's not always the case. Wow, look at this thing. Oh, this thing's huge. Tearing this thing right open. And it comes with a freaking connector. An eyelet, which I don't need, but cool. So this one is tested at 800 RPM idle. It's tested, this one tested 207 amps. At cruise it tested 287. Wow. So this is even higher than what they advertise. So I guess I got a good one. Because it says it could be 180 plus and then 250 cruising, but this one's almost at 300 cruising and over 200 idle, so that's awesome. Alrighty, so pretty much what you're going to want to do is remove your fan shroud. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you've never worked on anything before, these are original 10mm bolts up here. I have different ones just because I have billet upper radiator mounts, so they come with a little bit different, but remove your cable. Just gotta be careful with this new wire loom. Okay, get that out of the way. Pull your fan shroud out. It's gonna have more 10mm bolts. I just have it thrown in there just because I haven't finished putting everything together yet. So move that out of the way. I just keep all my bolts right up on top of the radiator right here. So it does say that you should replace the belt. However, this belt is pretty new. It's an HD Gates belt. So Gates is a great company, especially for belts. So if you do want a good belt, I would highly recommend them. We're going to disconnect the negative on the battery quick. Get that taken off. Now, if you do have stock battery posts, I do recommend getting this upgraded style like adapter thing, just for save precaution, because you don't want to screw them in and have not enough threads and then strip the threads out. So we do have everything disconnected but the plug on this. You're just going to want to move some of these hoses out of this little plastic harness thing over here. I would show you over here, but I have to work on this side, so you'll see it whenever you get to, if you were to do this yourself. And then there's going to be a little plug on the side of the alternator. You just want to pop that right out. Now we have to see which plug I have to see if it'll work. Oh, this is a single wire plug. So I think I will need that adapter. It didn't show anything on the directions for that adapter, so we're going to have to look at that. It's a 1-wire, but it is an oval plug, but there's 3 prongs in the other one, so obviously it needs more. And then from my memory, it's a 3/8 for the belt tensioner. You just want to push that down, pull the belt off, and then I believe these are 13mm, 2 13mm bolts for this alternator. And they should just unscrew and come right out. Now, when you are working on these, if you notice, there is a gap in the fan. They are not evenly spaced, so you have a little bit more room to do this. Now, is it? Yeah, this way. Okay, so it is counterclockwise to loosen. And my belt tensioner is new, GM Genuine. I would recommend buying GM Genuine parts, especially on some like this, because it's just, they're not the same whenever you get aftermarket stuff. And then, it should be 13mm, from my knowledge. Yep. So GM is also all metric, if you're not familiar. That loose. That loose. Okay. Now, I may need a pry tool for this. I don't know whether this is just going to pop right out or not. No. So I am going to put a pry bar. Ooh! Yeah, that is not going to come out. So, not hard, easy fix. Just get yourself a way too big tire spoon and shove that thing in there and start yanking on her. Unless I'm missing something here, but I don't think so. Yes, it's in there. There we go. Now it should come out. Yep. The ghost in the garage is back at it, knocking shit over. It's these little metal things that the alternator sits in. They're a pain. Because when you tighten it, they get tighter, and it's just a pain. Alright, this one is out. Throw that there. Okay. That is that. Yeah, this thing is tiny. I don't know if they're the same size, actually. No, that one's way bigger. This one is supposed to weigh, that one's supposed to weigh like 20 pounds. Which is ridiculous. I mean, it might. I don't feel like it. I guess it is about the same size. We'll get this off of here. Now, one thing that we are going to need to figure out is where we're going to route that plug. I don't really know how that's going to work because mine only has one wire. So I'm not necessarily too sure. Guess that drops right in there. That's called quality. Get the one bolt. Get that in there, get that started. Get this next one started. Or just send it in there with the impact and she'll find her home. Confirm, I think the bolts are 2 different sizes. Make sure you pay attention to that when you're doing it because they are 2 different lengths. This one is longer. This one is shorter. There we go. Now we're sending her home. It crossed a little bit there at the end, but it'll hold. And then you just kind of, crank on her a little bit. You can torque it if you want. You just, you know, just torqued. 110 foot-pounds, you can probably hold. Ooh. Yep, torqued. So that's on there. Now, grab your belt. And this is supposed to be the right size. We're about to find out. Go, push down. Push way down. Oh man. Way down. Oh man. That's a tight squeeze. That's on there. Is it in the range of travel? I don't know, I'd have to look tomorrow whenever I can see or use a flashlight. Yeah, we're on there all the way around. I mean, it's on there. Well, that's how you install a Mechman alternator in 5 minutes. However, now we need to do the positive wire, which we are going to route up like this. And get this back in here, get that back in there. Get our tire spoon out of the way. I'm not changing any tires. And then I think I want to run it up like this over top. Kind of something like that. I think that's how I want to do it. And then, oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, so you are supposed to ground it to this bolt here. So we're going to have to take that back off. I totally forgot. Which kind of sucks because I already put the belt back on. And we'll get her. So this is the dilemma that I'm having right now. I got everything in there. I ended up having to go with a little bit longer bolt, because it just wasn't grabbing enough threads. So I had the metric bolt. It was a little bit longer. We got that figured out. Got this all good. Got the positive all tight in there. Heat shrunk, crimped up, ready to go. But now, run into the issue with this harness here. This harness, you can see, has 2 slots in it. My stock one only has 1, and I only have 1 wire. This has 4 wires. So, actually, this has 5. Well, 4 going into here. But I can plug this into here. This will plug directly into there. So I don't know. This has these. There's 3 pins in here, 1 wire here. There's 4 wires here. So I don't know. There's nothing on YouTube on putting a 250 in these trucks. I don't know why nobody's put anything out there, but hopefully now people will understand. But I emailed Tony, and I'll have to wait for him to get back to me tomorrow. But I'm kind of leaning on I can just plug this thing right in, because it does plug in. If not, he might have to send me out. They also have a harness that plugs into here that goes 1 wire out, but this plugs right in. So, I mean, I would imagine this is probably the way it's supposed to be. I mean, just like that. I guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, for now, that's going to be it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Alright, it is the next day. I just want to quick show what I did. That way, if you guys end up doing this yourself and you run into the same issue I do, it'll save you a lot of time. Emailed Tony, waited till he got in the office, he got right back to me, explained to me what was going on, and it made total sense, and sure enough, it works now. So I'll show you what I did. So here's the harness that comes with the Mechman. It's supposed to be pretty universal, I guess. However, this is the alternator plug here, and see how it has 2 male things there. I might have shown that last night, and I only had 1 female. What Tony said was this is a replacement plug. So at one point in time, somebody replaced this plug. So all I did was just cut out that groove right there, and then it just plugs right in. Once you get it all plugged in, I just snaked it around the throttle cable, ran it up and over to the side over here, threw in and add a fuse. Heat shrinked it all up nice. And what the fuse that I ran it to is this IGN-E. I would imagine that means ignition engine, something of that sort, so you would think it was key on power. Seems to work. I hooked the voltmeter up to the battery and it's showing 14.65, so I'm assuming that means it's charging. It was steady, so that shows voltage, so yeah, cool, that'll work. Mechman 250 Elite Series install. Hopefully that helped you guys if you end up doing it. Hope that video helped you all put that alternator in there. The next video is most likely going to be me doing these taillights as I'm working on them right now, so along with the mirrors and everything else. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and yeah, see you in the next one.